your emotions. I mean, who wants to talk about emotions? This girl. Today, I am excited to get in deep with the topic of your emotions. Anyways, holding space for your emotions is an incredibly valuable thing that we can give ourselves in our life. But what does holding space for your emotions really even mean? And why is it so important? Like, why does it really help? So, today we're really going to talk about what holding space for your emotions does for you in your life that ultimately helps you heal all of your stress and trauma and attachment to discomfort. So what does it really mean to hold space, right? What does it look like? How does it work? And how does it really help? Holding space is really about having compassion, grace, non-judgment, and definitely non-attachment to the experience we are currently in or the experience of others. It is a present moment experience and one that actually takes a lot of attention and a lot of mindfulness. So, what the heck does it look like? It often is about feeling the funk, right? Whatever the feeling is that you're currently in, allowing yourself to just, number one, acknowledge it without trying to fix it or change it or get rid of it or destroy it or even attach to it, right? When I talk about attachment, it's the difference between I am angry and I am feeling angry. That is when we say I am angry, that is us actually attaching to the feeling. So it's really the difference between I am feeling stress versus I am stressed, right? I'm experiencing sadness versus I am sad. I am acknowledging my feeling of anger in the I am feeling angry or I am feeling stressed or I am feeling or experiencing sadness versus I am angry, meaning I am this angry person or I am this sadness. You are not the emotion. The less we actually attach to our identity of being the emotion, the more that we allow ourselves to actually hold space for the experience of the emotion. Feelings ultimately are energy. They're energy that moves through the body, much like the water that is poured into a pitcher. The pitcher itself doesn't become the water, right? It is still a pitcher, a glass jar that is holding the water. And the container, the pitcher itself, is what gets to experience the water being poured into it and being poured out of it. So as the water moves through it, the pitcher does not become the water as the water moves through it. It is the container allowing and guiding the energy of the water to move through. So why then do we self-identify with the energy of the feeling of what it is we are feeling, as though it is the beginning and the ending of who we are, rather than just acknowledging that you are the container? You are the guide directing this energy, and you can allow this energy to move through you. So, when we hold space for where we are, we give ourselves permission to just be. The kid that is banging his knees and crying because it hurts isn't wrong or bad. He is just expressing the emotion of hurting himself, right? If he stops the emotion from expressing, he actually suppresses the hurt, which then just becomes a manifestation of more hurt. I mean, honestly, when you stub your toe, sometimes saying a good, strong cuss word and yelling for a moment actually makes you feel better. It's that expression of the energy. But when you hold that pain in, it travels up your leg, up through your hip, and then suddenly you are walking with a limp. It's still manifesting in the body. So, why in the world do we try to hold the upsets of our day or our life in our own body? Like when we have a sad experience, why do we try and hold it in? It's just going to end up manifesting later. The hurt, the disappointment, the sadness, the frustration, we hold it in or try and stop it from even existing, or even we ignore it rather than holding space for its very existence. Holding space doesn't mean acting from or reacting from the emotion either. It's being mindful with the process of the energy moving through us. It is a place of stillness, a place of wholeness where we can be still and present to the energy of the feeling, to what it wants to say, or how it has to move through our body without doing anything with that emotion. So, what does that really look like? What is the difference, right? What is the difference with holding space for the emotion and allowing it to move through you versus attaching yourself to the energy of the emotion and acting from that place, right? Oftentimes, it's the difference between taking ownership and responsibility for what it is you're experiencing so that you can move through it and learn from it versus becoming the victim to it. So let's say you're in a really, really heated argument with your loved one, your husband, your wife, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend. You're really angry. They have made you very upset, and now you're super pissed, right? You can either attach to that emotion and say, I am pissed, it's your fault, and then come from that energy, right? Maybe the way that energy you try and hold it in, and so you don't want to express it, but then it comes out in vindictive and mean and snide comments later throughout the day. Or maybe you don't let go of it and you hold that grudge of that argument for days, even weeks on end, and you punish your partner for that argument, mainly because you attach your anger and your experience of that anger to your identity, and you held on to it instead of learning from the experience. What was it trying to show you? Or at least holding space for it so you could allow it to move through you. On the other hand, let's say you decided to hold space for that anger. You allowed yourself to take a moment and say, you know what? I'm feeling very angry in this situation. I'm going to walk away for a moment, and I'm just going to allow myself to feel this. I'm going to allow it to move through my body. And maybe you go into the other room. Maybe you do some screaming. Maybe you do some journaling. You just hold space and allow yourself, maybe you just breathe through the experience of it, and you allow the energy of that feeling, you acknowledge it in your body, and you see what's going on, and you just give yourself a moment to be angry. And then when you've allowed that emotion to kind of like move through you, you can choose, what am I going to learn from this experience? What is this anger trying to teach me? Because when we allow ourselves to hold space for the emotion, we actually get to have a little distance from it. Rather than it being this thing we attach ourselves to, we can see that it's an experience that we're going through, that we can have choice in. How can we practice this, right? In any given moment, even in a heated, intense moment, how can we practice allowing ourselves to hold space rather than attaching to the emotion itself and becoming it? Well, here's what you want to do. When you are feeling funky, whatever that may be, take a moment to sit comfortably with your eyes closed. Allow yourself to drop your attention down into your body. If this is a heated moment or something intense that's happening, excuse yourself. It is perfectly okay for you to go to the bathroom or go sit down in another room and just take a moment. Even if you need to go to your car, just take a moment. Allow yourself to sit, drop into your body, at least drop your attention down into your body, and ask yourself, where do I feel this energy? Where do I feel this energy of this emotion in my body? The more you can ask the question, where do I feel this energy of this emotion in my body? The more you actually detach from the feeling being who you are, right? So, number one, allow yourself to drop into your body. Number two, ask yourself, ask your body, ask your attention, your awareness, where do I feel this in my body? Where do I feel this energy of this emotion in my body? Where do I feel the energy of my anxiety, my sadness, my anger, my frustration, my overwhelmed? Where do I feel that in my body, that energy? And then wait to see and feel the answer, right? Wait for the answer to come to you. Be present to the answer. Allow yourself to, again, focus that awareness on the body. Maybe you're going to feel it in your chest. Maybe your chest is going to feel tight and constricted, like you can't breathe. Maybe you're so angry that you're just like you're shutting down, right? Or maybe you're going to feel it in your head. Maybe you're going to feel an intense pressure up in your head, and it's going to feel like the oncoming headache that you normally get in your afternoons at work. Or maybe your legs are going to feel heavy. Maybe they're going to feel like you are stuck in mud or quicksand and you just can't move, right? Maybe your arms are going to feel heavy. Maybe your chest and your arms are going to be falling forward. Allow yourself to just become aware of, where does this energy show up in the body, and what does it look like? What does it feel like? And this is where you want to begin to describe it with your senses. And what I suggest is describe it out loud. Describe it while you're sitting in the car, while you're sitting in this space. If you're not somewhere where you can do this out loud, then just describe it in your head. I feel it's tightness and a tension in my chest. I feel this pain in my heart. I feel, tight and constricted in my throat. I feel like, somebody has like a stranglehold on my throat, or my legs feel heavy and tense, and I just feel like I'm holding everything in my lower body, and also think about, is there a color? Can you see a color that is present as your eyes are closed and you're turning your attention inward? Maybe you see like darkness or like red hot in your stomach, or maybe it feels like butterflies, and so what you actually see are these like bubbles or butterflies moving all over the place. So allow yourself to explore with your senses. Not only what does it feel like physically, but also what does it look like? What does it maybe smell like? Sometimes we have that old sense, oh, something smells fishy. It's that way for a reason. Our senses are there to help give us another level of intelligence in the situation. Whatever it is that comes to you, just allow it to come to you. Allow it to be present. Anything is actually possible, and there really is no wrong answer in this, only an unexplored one. So once you get a clear idea of the feeling of this energy, this emotional energy in your body, you can ask this area of your body, do you have anything that you want to say? So go with me here. Let's imagine you have been very angry. Your boss upset you, maybe insulted you in front of some other coworkers, and you feel angry, you feel slighted. So you allow yourself to take a moment to step away. You drop down into your body, close your eyes. You allow yourself to settle into the energy of the emotion. You feel this energy in your chest. It feels tight and constricted, and it feels like it's coming up into your throat, right? And it kind of feels like it's shutting down. It makes you feel like you just want to run away, right? And you see that maybe there's like a dark blue color, maybe there's some red, maybe it, kind of gives you this smell of old stale smoke, right? Who knows? Maybe there's just something there, right? And when you're in that space, when you've acknowledged all the senses that are present, you've really described it, you ask this area of your body, you say chest, this area, you look at it and you say, is there anything that you wish to say? Is there anything that you want to share? Is there something here that wants to be heard? And then you wait for the answer. You allow yourself to just open up and receive. And sometimes what will come up will be completely unexpected. Sometimes it'll be like, I just want to be loved. I just want to be acknowledged. See me, understand me, right? Maybe there's something that's coming up that is tied to different areas of your life, that this situation is just the trigger. It's just the catalyst for maybe something that has been there for quite some time. But allow yourself to feel it coming up from within. A lot of times what we want to do is we want to answer from here. We want to answer from the head, but what you want to do is you want to allow the answer to come from the energy in the body. Your mind doesn't always know everything, regardless of what it wants to think it knows, right? Allow yourself to also be surprised. Oftentimes, your body just wants to say something simple like, nurture me, or I'm scared, or it's going to be okay. Allow yourself to receive your body as you would receive your best friend, open and willing to listen. Throughout this, you are actually creating space for the feeling itself to be seen and heard and held. And once you receive what the feeling in the body wants to actually say, just sit with it. You don't have to necessarily take action or do anything. You can just allow that energy to be present, allow yourself to acknowledge and allow yourself to fully be heard. And a great way to do this is just by saying, I hear you. I hear that you said, I need to be nurtured. I hear that you said, you're scared, right? Repeat whatever the body said, but acknowledging that you heard it, that you acknowledge what it shared with you. And then the last part of this is to really just breathe. Your only true action in holding space is to breathe. And breath is the most powerful thing you can give yourself, right? The energy of any emotion only lasts 90 seconds. And when we perpetuate the thoughts, the story, the mental condition that creates the actual emotion, we are actually co-creating the emotional experience. But the energy itself of the emotion, when the brain is turned off and we allow ourselves to just hold space, it only lasts at most 90 seconds, if not, sometimes less. So allow yourself to just breathe. Allow yourself to just be seen and be heard. This amazing thing happens when we just allow, when we just feel or see or hear ourselves. We often feel seen, feel valued, feel honored. We recognize ourselves, we feel accepted, and then the energy is surrendered. We experience then more peace and more ease. We actually allow ourselves to heal the suffering we were previously in so that we can become more whole, so that we can be more present to where we are. This is the power of holding space for your emotions. You actually get to give yourself the gift of the thing that you're probably craving most. And then when you're in that place, you can make clear decisions about what you're going to choose to do next, what action you're going to take, or maybe how you're going to heal the situation. Because maybe through the process of holding space for what hasn't been heard or what hasn't been seen or acknowledged or recognized, number one, you give yourself the thing that it is you've been craving. But number two, you have the opportunity to then go after, make choices that align with what it is you really want, right? If in that feeling in the chest, going back to the boss that maybe made you feel belittled or inadequate, you then know once that recognition of, I want to be acknowledged, I want to be recognized, you can start to make the steps to acknowledge and recognize yourself and put yourself in situations where you get to receive that acknowledgement, that recognition, that, good job. You get to put yourself in the situations and attract that into your life. But you have clarity about what it is that you actually want in the situation, rather than pushing it away, completely ignoring it, moving on with the rest of your day, and not actually feeling or sensing what it was that was really needed in that situation. Please also understand this is a practice, not a destination. It is something we actually cultivate in our daily lives. But when we do this, when we do it every day, day in and day out, we start to deeply heal not only our hearts, but our minds and our bodies. Because these emotions, the energy of this emotion, when it's not dealt with, it just becomes trapped. And ultimately, it can lead to health issues, or it can lead to us outbursting later. And ultimately, we begin to heal ourselves when we hold space, which allows us to experience more peace, to experience the joy that we actually have in our life and the happiness that we create, and ultimately what we want our life to be. All because you took some time to hold space for where you are. Does this feel like it's something easy for you to try and do, holding space for your emotion? If so, just comment below and let me know. And also, if you got something great out of this, please share. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit that not like button. That's all good. I would just love to hear from you what you got out of this. And ultimately, if you know there's somebody in your life that would really benefit from this, please share this video. I really want to help everybody come to a more centered place around the experience of emotion so that you don't have to be so afraid of your emotions. They're not so bad after all. And if you want to hear more about what it is that I do and how it is that I coach, then please head on over to codielea.com. That's CODIELEA.com. And check out more of my videos through YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little bell button so you get notifications when I post my next video. So, and until next time, know that you are powerful beyond measure.